Get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, I'm going to do some live gameplay today. As you may have seen from my last update video, I've been having some technical difficulties recently and I still don't 100% know if my computer's okay or not, so I thought I'd do this well, obviously, if it all goes pear-shaped, if my computer freezes or blue screens, obviously this video is never going to see the light of day. So I don't know why I'm even saying that, but there you go. If you've seen this video, clearly it's been fine. So, yeah, I'm going to do some light tanks because it occurred to me I don't think I've done any a light tank live gameplay so far. And much as I'd love to just play a couple of matches in the Cruiser 4, I think actually what I will do is I will do some scout light tank. So I'm going to start off with the ELC because that's a fun little machine. You can never go wrong with an ELC. Okay, port and tier 9s. It's not the worst matchup in the world, but there's no artillery for me to go after, and there's not really a massive amount for me to do on this map. Just scout, not even scout around, just whiz around and be a nuisance basically. Look for a chance to get some sneaky shots in against the enemy. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And hopefully my computer will behave itself. So I think I'm going to whiz off up to the northwest corner to begin with and just have a look basically. See what I can see. In fact, I might go outside the tracks to do so. The train carriages. Just whiz along that that bit of ground in the middle, and if I do it carefully, this might be a short ride. I will say it's kind of risky me doing scouts like this because there's some stuff spotted already. Scout battles are very, very, very mixed. Oh, yeah, that was a good start. That's me not paying attention, and this is going to be interesting because talking and scouting at the same time. Yeah. Nothing there. Whoa, something behind me. Right. So I spotted a few things there. It really, 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 when you're in a sand pile, really depends on your team being good enough in a scout tank. You can tip the balance if the team is of a you know, if your team is good enough, you can tip the balance in a scout tank, especially if there's enemy artillery to go and hunt down, because that can obviously make a big difference to a team. But wow, I'm doing so well. Yeah, don't go sideways over jumps. That is only ever gonna. Yeah. It also helps if you don't keep tracking yourself. I think I took enhanced tracks off the ELC actually. I swapped it out in favour of something else, but I did have that module on here for a while. Right, I'll go for another look-see, and this time I'll stay this side of the carriages. See if I can proximity spot or even just spot stuff. Just through the middle. Another T-54E1 there. Oh, there's a Tiger. There's 1375. Might want to shoot under the carriage, maybe. 1390. Well. Well, they know I'm here now. There's T-54, so I'm going to beat a retreat. Although I might get to do the same again, because they're not paying attention to me especially. And the wheels are in the way of that guy. It's about the only way I'm going to get to do any amounts of damage on this particular map is just being sneaky. Oh, no, it's his tracks. You really have to be incredibly opportunistic when you're driving light tanks, and I think it requires adapting yourself to different circumstances even more so than other tank types, because a lot of the time you're not going to get to do what your tank is actually good at doing. A lot of the time you just have to make the best of what might be a completely crappy situation. Hopefully I'm getting some spotting damage off this guy. Ooh. Does he have a fire extinguisher? Come on! Yes! Nice. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's an autoloader, and that was also my ammo rack. No. Oh well. Well, I don't know how that team's doing. It's kind of hard to judge at this point. They don't control the middle at all, though. But they're pushing the left flank, but they've lost the east flank. We've also got a Tiger 2 that for some reason is only just come alive. Ooh, stock turret as well. Yeah, who knows? I don't think that's going to be a win, but you never know. Anyway, that was quite funny though, burning out that Tiger. I think next up I'm going to try the 5916. Now, shall I put camouflage or binoculars? I've got optics on there already, as you can see, but the base view range is not fantastic. We'll go with camo. And you can see I haven't played it that much. It's still a not very well trained crew, and there's a lot of stuff I don't have unlocked yet, so I'm a ways off getting the WZ-131, which looks like a fun machine. This just hasn't been a very high priority, this particular tank. I've played it a bit and it's not bad. You get actually the 85mm guns are pretty pants, and I don't have those unlocked yet, so I'm just using the stock gun, which is actually, it's a 57mm. It's what the MT25 gets. It's what the T50-2 had. So I'm actually planning on just sticking with this gun, because for a scout tank, this is actually a nice little gun. So, excuse me while I drink my tea. So airfield, this is actually a map that gives me a few more opportunities in a scout. There's an enemy artillery to go after, but they might be quite hard to actually get through to. So we'll see. So I'm going to have a peek over the middle first. And oh dear, lemming train maybe? There's one tank that looks like it's coming to cover the south. It's the problem, but the difficulty of light tanks is it's not like being a medium or a heavy. You can't really, a lot of the time, you can't go and plug a gap. You can't hold a flank. You're not a damage dealer most of the time. Sometimes as the opportunity arises, you might get to peck away and do some damage, but for the most part you're not a damage dealer, and your role is going to be you're either going to be opportunistically looking for gaps to exploit, or you're going to be trying to get through to enemy artillery, or there's always, you want to be doing something specific in a light tank. You've always got to have some kind of goal in mind for a given situation, and oftentimes you have to switch round what that goal actually is. But oh, there's an MT21. Now I don't know that I can actually get up there safely at this point. I think this might be one where I'm just waiting for an opportunity to whiz along and nail enemy artillery, or create a distraction, or do something like that. Sometimes you got to know when to wait. Also, at this point I know where their T21 is, and I'm in a position to actually stop him if he makes a run for our artillery. But as it turns out, that's not necessary. So, obviously I know there's going to be at least one tank destroyer, if not 2 or 3, at the end of the other end of the runway, because that's where they like to camp. So getting from this side to that side is kind of tricky. Of course, the other way around is kind of tricky as well. You can see that's, you know, a spot where tank destroyers like to camp on this side, but I think there's a bit more scope to actually use the terrain against them in this circumstance if you're going from the other side, but not. So, oh, chance for a bit of sneaky damage. Although, no, okay, one miss, one bounce. That wasn't so good. Right, I'm going to move up to the next group of rocks. See if I can't. Oh, main problem is there's an IS-8 there. And if he takes a fancy to shooting me. Yeah, went in my tracks though. Fortunately for me. Right. So, now I have to wait here. Let myself disappear off their radar. I may even be able to do some sneaky damage against that T-54. But it does mean exposing my side potentially to anything that's... because of course the moment I get fire... Oh, I might even get the kill shot here. Yes, only 33 damage, but that's an enemy tank that isn't in the game anymore. So, oh, there's a T-29 up there as well, interesting. My better bet might be to go actually up through the enemy cap. So let's try that, rather than dashing out across the open field here. So let's go directly south. I should probably have fuel on this thing, because you can mount fuel consumable on the on Chinese tanks, and on some scouts it's very useful. Okay, there's a T-28 prot and a 110. Dat camping, okay. There's the ISU. If that guy hits me, it's game over. Now, I think at this point I'm just going to go and try and nail enemy artillery. So, whoa, T-34. Wow, they're all camping. No, tracked. Well, that was just unlucky. What? How do you shoot my tracks at that range? Oh, good lord. Okay. Well, that all went to pot. Because, yeah, that was quite a lot of their enemy heavies just camping. So, okay. Okay. That's obviously the best way to play a heavy tank. It's not like there was even lots of artillery. There was one artillery per side. Who knows? Oh, ELCs. We'll have a quick look at that score. They actually won. How much spotting did I get? I spotted some tanks. And I got some assistance damage only. I didn't get any spotting damage. But, yeah, 1k damage. That was enough to put me quite close to the top of the scoreboard there. Looks like that E75. Oh, yes. He did quite a lot. Bilot's medal, Spartan steel walls, sniper and Top Gun. 7k potential damage. Yeah, that guy earned his credits. He really did. So, let's move on to... what next? Let's go for the M5 Stuart. I went and rebought this thing because originally I went through to the M7 and that wasn't much of a, 13k XP. That wasn't much of a grind. But this time round I've decided I want to try out the Chaffee because that is the US dedicated scout tank and it's quite an interesting little machine and I thought it was about time I'd start working my way towards it. So I've rebought the Stuart, which is not the best scout, I have to say, but I've had some better matches with it this time round. As you can see, I'm using the rather rubbish 75mm derp gun. It's kind of terrible against anything but open-topped vehicles. I think my best result was doing a couple of hundred damage against a T25/2, purely because it was an open-topped vehicle and I was hitting it for about 100 damage each time. But otherwise, even going up against the rear armour of like tier 7s, tier 8s, you're doing kind of even tier 6s, you know, you're doing like 30 damage per shot. It really is terrible. So you need the heat shells to actually do any damage in some situations, because unless it's a very, very thinly armoured target, this gun is just absolutely pants. But it looks kind of funny. So Erlenberg, there is enemy artillery, but my chances of getting to go kill enemy artillery are pretty slim. And this is actually just regular tier 4 matchmaking, so that's actually not bad. That's quite nice for a Stuart. This is not the best map for a scout tank. I can try a little bit of early active scouting. I can go look down by the river and then withdraw. As you can see, well, you may have noticed in the garage, I've got coated optics on this thing because the view range is actually not too bad. It's more of an active scout setup I've got on this than a passive one. If you had binoculars, that would be better suited to going to a bush and there's a Jackson, going to a bush and sitting there and spotting for the enemy team. So I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge now. Because, well, no, you leave my engine alone, you meanies. This thing is not the best active scout. It's just not fast enough. It doesn't have a high enough top speed. Why is our bishop there? Unless he's got... I know the even the FV, they've all got pretty rubbish view ranges, so that's probably why. So let's withdraw to safety and consider the next move. I wonder if I can derp snipe this Wolverine. Probably not. How do I not have enough gun depression? Because my tank's facing the wrong way, that's why. I'm gonna try... God, no, in fact there's no point in firing off a shot there really isn't. I think our bishop is going to die quite quickly where he is, because they're going to advance up that coastal path. Up the riverside. Coastal path? Yeah, it's because that's the ocean. The river and the ocean, they're like the same thing, right? Okay. I have less options with this tank than I do with, say, the ELC, but of the tier 4 scouts, I mean, since they basically nerfed the T50 into, well, I wouldn't say into oblivion, but they certainly nerfed it into mediocrity. The Lux is, I think, the best of the tier 4 scouts these days. And it's not that it was buffed particularly, it's just the one that's, you know, the rest of them, you know, this thing is okay under some circumstances. The A20's never been particularly good. The Chinese Stuart is actually a bit better than this thing, even in that you just get better gun selection. And yeah, just generally speaking, it's actually, if I load up the gold, oh, there's that Wolverine. There we go, he's dead anyway. Let's just go back to regular HE derp shells. Cautiously cross the river at this point. Northern flank is the few tanks that went across died, which is kind of oh, maybe not surprising, all things considered. Well, that's a usual sort of thing to happen. Right, well, that guy's backing up, so 40 damage against an Su-85B. That's how amazing this gun is. Well, I got a critical, so maybe I damaged his gun or something. Oh, right, that T1 heavy, I basically stand no chance unless I... Okay, see, these HE shells are so amazing, they bounce on the front of a tier 5 heavy. I'm going to go scout forward a bit. T49 is a slight worry, but I think I know where their RT is, so I'm going to try. Although that Su-85B might block me from doing what I want to do. I'm going to wait to make a run for it. Let's be cautious here. I've already just taken one hit. T49 is moving north. It looks like it's just the 85B. So, yeah, I don't want to fall afoul of the 85B because well, that thing has got a nice gun and it's fast firing. I'm dead. No. Well, no. If they'd shot him a second earlier, I could have gone and got their arty, who is almost certainly in K1, but alas, no. The perils of playing scout tanks. So let's go back to garage. I mean, we've won this. Look at this. It's just a Jackson and the M41 left, so yeah, we know where those guys are. It just remains to see what my score is. Probably not particularly good. I won't have got spotting damage, but yeah. Oh, there we go. Right, they won that. So that was my mastery for third class. This is how little I've played this tank. I've done maybe 10 battles at this stage. Potential damage received 2,310, which is not bad. 700 spotting, not very good. 33 damage, 1 kill. Oh yeah. Well, there we go. I've had 3 battles. I've had 3 wins. None of them were especially spectacular. Enemy spotted 6. Only 300 assistance, 40 damage. Yeah, that wasn't particularly good either. But yeah, they were all wins at least, and I'm a bit closer to the Chaffee and the WZ. So yeah, and I had a fun moment in the ELC where I torched that tiger. This is the nature of scout games. The really good ones don't happen that often, but if you can be even a little bit useful to your team, you know, you've helped them along the way to victory. But the team needs to be good enough, and I've been pretty lucky because that's 3 wins out of 3 battles, and that is not the usual thing in scout tanks. It may just be the time of day. Maybe when I'm doing it in the evenings, it feels a lot more like a crapshoot. You end up with games where you'll actually do really well, but the rest of the team is completely terrible, and it just doesn't matter how well you do because you're in a scout tank and you've got no armor and no hit points, and it's very, very hard to carry under those circumstances. So if you enjoyed this video, you can hit the like button, you can leave a comment, you can subscribe to my channel, you can go check out my Facebook page, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.